Inigo.
Yes, my friend.
Do you mind if I ask you something?
Go ahead, ask away.
Tell me more about your past. I don't know anything about you, actually. I mean, we've been traveling for a while now, but I don't really know much about you, do I?
My brother and I never knew our real parents. We were found abandoned in a smelly shack by a soldier on his way to battle.
Oh.
We melted his heart with our fuzzy little faces, and he carried us to the nearest town.
Oh, that's adorable.
He deposited us at an orphanage, and that is where we spent most of our childhood.
Tell me some more.
My brother and I were adopted by a couple of retired assassins. I guess the orphanage did not do a family background check.
Must have had a very interesting childhood.
Mine was perhaps a little more unconventional than most, but I suppose all childhoods are interesting to some degree.
Yeah, fair enough.
My parents provided me with love and encouragement. Apart from the nightly training sessions, we were a normal family.
So what did you... So, how long did you stay with them?
I was bullied by the other Khajiit children because of my unusual color and markings.
Aww.
My mother showed me a handy trick with a rock and a glove. I was never bothered again.
Yeah, serves them right.
Yes, bullies should not be tolerated. They soon learned that being different is not a weakness.
That's right. Maybe somebody could teach these Nords that. Bloody Stormcloaks. Idiots. Tell me some more then.
My father showed my brother and I how to use a sword. My mother taught us the bow. Happy childhood memories. I grew up in Riverhold, not far from Cyrodiil. My brother and I headed for the Imperial City to find our fortune when we came of age.
Ah.
I found love, for a time at least.
Aww.
My brother found death.
Oh. You found love?
Well, now that I think about it, maybe it was not love. It was brief and, as it turned out, one-sided. Anyway, all that happened later.
Okay. So, your brother died in Cyrodiil.
I will come to that soon. There is a little more to hear first.
Okay, that's understandable.
My mother and father are both gone. They died protecting a trading caravan a few years back. I guess I am an orphan again.
What were your parents like? You know, aside from being retired assassins.
I suppose they were a bit of an odd couple, being an Argonian and a Khajiit, but they adored each other. And us.
Aww.
Despite their previous profession, they were good people.
I'm sorry for your loss. They do sound like good people.
That means a great deal. Thank you.
Tell me more, then. We've got plenty of time.
My brother and I found much work as sellswords. We never made it to the Imperial City, but we made a lot of coin.
What kind of jobs, exactly?
A bit of giant killing here, a bit of witch slaying there. We took gold when it was offered, but sometimes we worked for nothing. It is hard to deny those in need, whether they have coin or not. We made more than enough from those who could pay anyway.
Not a bad code to live by. So where exactly did your travels take you? Was it just in Cyrodiil, or did your travels what took you to Skyrim?
All over Cyrodiil. From the Gold Coast to the Gerald Mountains. It is a wonderful land, but quite tame compared to Skyrim. Those were happy times, traveling or working during the day, camping out under the stars at night. Life was good.
Definitely sounds good. I mean, not that different from what we're doing right now. Well, I suppose we're staying in more inns than we are under the stars. We haven't camped for a long time.
I awoke one morning to a lot of noise outside our tent. My brother staggered in, bleeding, and pushed our father's sword into my hand. He said that if I loved him, I would run. He used the last of his strength to rip out the back of the tent and push me down the slope beyond. Some Khajiit-hating locals had blamed us for a spate of robberies in the area and had decided to take the matter into their own hands. 12 of them had snuck up on us in the night. My brother died, but I live because of him.
Yeah, losing a brother like that must have been terrible.
Yes, that morning I lost all that was dear to me. Unfortunately, I also uncovered a side of myself I never knew existed.
What was your brother's name?
His name was Fergus. I miss him very much, but part of me is glad he did not witness what became of me after his passing.
Yeah, he would have understood. It was bound to have affected you. Especially losing him, you know, in that way. Not even being able to say goodbye.
Maybe you are right. It is a nice thought. But I suppose I will never know.
Do you ever wish you stayed and fought?
Every day, my friend. Every day.
Well, let's see if we can move. Let's see, is there anything, you know, a bit more cheerful that happened? Well, I think I already know the answer to that one, actually.
I was recruited by a group of bandits a few years ago. That is when I discovered skooma. It was the beginning of a lot of nastiness. I was with a bandit girl for a while. Turns out she was using me. She wanted protection, not affection. As soon as she found someone more psychopathic, I was dropped like a sack of troll dung.
Did you love her? Doesn't really sound like you've had, you know, much luck with your love life.
I thought I did. We dulled each other's pain somewhat. She seemed like the only bright thing in a very dark place. Regrettably, she was a vicious, manipulative harpy.
Women will do that. I'm only kidding.
I left the bandits and took the only ally I had with me. He was also an addict, but we thought we had it under control. His name was Felix. He was a big fellow, good in his scrap. We became mercenaries together.
So tell me about Felix. What was he like?
After a few months, Felix and I had made a little gold, but our addiction to skooma was getting in the way. No one trusts an addict, my friend. Especially not another addict.
Yeah, tell me about Felix.
There is not much to tell. He never spoke about his past, but it was clear he had also been through a great deal before becoming a bandit. That life did not seem to suit him. He had been an educated man at some point, I am sure of it. He was violent, but he had retained some dim vestige of honor. I wish we had met under different circumstances.
He sounds like he might have been a good man at one point. Do you ever miss skooma? Yeah, do you ever miss skooma?
From time to time my body does, but my mind is made up. I am never touching the stuff again. It helped me smother some painful memories, but it took my sense and reason as payment. It was not a fair trade.
That's a good way to look at it. Tell me some more then. What happened next?
One day, Felix burst into my chamber. Instinct took over and I reacted. His murder was my second-to-last step on the road of dishonor. Trying to kill you was my last. My journal tells the rest. Read it if you want. I do not enjoy speaking of these things. That is my story. Not a happy one, but maybe the happy stuff is still to come.
Yeah, I will do my best to give you some new happy memories, Inigo. Although you didn't actually shoot me. Okay, tell me about yourself. Tell me about the great blue Khajiit Inigo.
I have traveled to many places. As a result, my accent is eclectic.
That is true. You don't really have the what's the word? I suppose you have the accent of a Khajiit, but your speech patterns are very different because a Khajiit will usually, refer to themselves in the third person, such as Inigo has been to many places. As a result, this one's accent is eclectic, but he's got a much more common way of speaking. It's nice. I like it.
Unlike most Khajiit, I have never spoken about myself in the third person. I guess it is how I was raised.
Oh, how ironic.
You can trust me to carry your gear. I am very strong and discreet.
So you have proven yourself to be. Okay, is there anything else you want to talk about? Combat. This is what we've got here.
Exciting subject.
Oh yeah, very exciting. Well, your fighting style is alright, your aggression is alright. What are your tactics?
I am attacking on sight. And in battle, I am fighting how I choose.
Okay,
Is this an intervention?
no, yeah, try to only fight when it's necessary.
I will keep the violence to a minimum.
Thank you very much. And your style, I think you're good with your style right now.
Okay.
Okay. Talk about talking. We're good for that right now. That's okay. Okay, would you like to relax for a bit?
Good idea. You should take a break too. You deserve it.
Oh, I definitely plan on it. I need to get you some proper clothes. Right. Should probably go ahead and maybe go on a little bit of a shopping spree. How am I doing for potions? Potions are alright, I suppose. Could probably get some more books, see if I can buy some. Yeah. How do you do? Alright, let's have something to eat.